Y'all, you know what? I had this timer up here. This is how I normally start my streams. Is with that timer going, and I'm like, oh yeah, this is a great way. It gives people time to trickle in, but like we're like back to back streams this time. Usually we have a little bit of downtime between them, so I'm just gonna jump right into it. Hi y'all, I'm Dimmer. Welcome. Uh, just as a heads up, so you know, I'm using a completely new stream setup this time. It should look the same on your end, but on my end, everything has changed. So if you can hear me, please let me know. If the music is too loud, please let me know. I'd really appreciate that. Hello, hello. I'm noticing that I'm looking quite red and peachy, everything, so I'll need to adjust my camera settings at some point. But my face is on screen. Y'all are saying hi, so I think you can hear me. There's like a 90% chance that things are working as they're supposed to be, which I'm happy. I took a risk. I changed everything, but we're here and it's working. Oh my goodness. Hello, hello everyone. This is such a huge group. Welcome, welcome. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Dimmer. I use they them pronouns. I've been with MLH for a while. Uh, I used to be more involved on the hackathon side of things as a coach. Now I do more streaming than coaching, but I'm so happy to be here with y'all. This is so exciting. We're going to be working with ChatGPT today. For those of you who don't know, it's a extremely cool chatbot that uses. Oh, I should know what GPT stands for. Oh, at one point I knew. Probably the last time that I did this. This is actually, for those of you who are around for Local Hack Week January, this is actually the second time that I've run uh, a my goodness, words, a generative pre-trained chat G. Oh, I thought it was in my head. I was doing GTP, generative. Here we go. Generative pre-trained transformer. If you were around for Global Hack Week January, you saw that I did this exact same session. So this is technically Hack with ChatGPT 2 Electric Boogaloo, but I am super excited to be doing this with y'all because I know, at least personally, I have like very different opinions on ChatGPT and how it works and what we should use it for. And also, there's been a lot of news in general about usages of AI like ChatGPT. So, for those of you who saw my post in Discord, Google is internally at code red, quote unquote, and the original founders are back at the company doing consulting work because ChatGPT is that disruptive, they think, in the search industry. So keep an eye out. In 2 days, on the 8th, they're going to be doing basically an emergency press release, like stream, whatever presentation about their new AI tools to augment search, which should be interesting. Yeah, it's really cool new technology, and today we're going to be messing around with it, trying to make some things with it. For those of you who don't know Google freaking out, yeah, and I mean, I get it. Last time, the big thing that I came to as a realization was like, this is honestly a lot better for me when asking like super basic questions about like how our code is working or what an error might be. It's just so much faster than trying to find the right Stack Overflow thing through Google. Google search has been getting kind of bad, in my opinion. So having an alternative is pretty cool. What are we doing? We are going to be hacking using ChatGPT, which is a really cool chatbot that is trained on a ton of data based on the internet. It can answer a ton of cool questions. It can write emails. Yep, I use it to write my emails. It can write code. It can write poems. Basically, anything that you can do with text, you can ask it. It does have some flaws, and we're going to talk about those. But overall, it's a pretty interesting tool. I like messing around with it, so we're going to be messing around with that today. Da, da, da. Has anyone tried to run ChatGPT? I have not, personally. If I switch to my screen share, here we go. For those of you who have been on my streams before, you can see how this is a slightly different setup, but it should be working. I used to stream off of my laptop that I said was held together by electrical tape, and that's because it was. There was a short somewhere at some point, and now I had just put electrical tape on it to stop it from continuing to short out the RAM. But I've switched this over to my MacBook, which is like my main workhorse computer. It's macOS isn't great for streaming, hence my trepidation, but theoretically everything should be working. So that being said, how are we going to be using ChatGPT? Well, I should remember the URL, but you can just Google ChatGPT. And when we do, right here, OpenAI, this website, OpenAI is the organization behind ChatGPT. They're originally a nonprofit, and then basically when ChatGPT started going really well, they quickly changed that status. So they are now a for-profit company. Oh no! Okay, we're going to talk about this. We're going to get to this. Hello, hello. Oh my goodness, there's so many people coming in. Welcome, welcome. This is so exciting. So I'll get to this, but I want to give a little bit of background about OpenAI as a company. Originally a nonprofit, now they are a for-profit company. That one of the reasons why Google is so concerned is because they are basically, I don't know, they're kind of a subsidiary of Microsoft, not like directly, but Microsoft has invested $10 billion in Azure credits. So all of their stuff, all of ChatGPT runs on Azure, and Microsoft, with that connection, has already deals in place for including ChatGPT into hey, there we go. Okay. ChatGPT into Bing and things like that. Log in. Yeah, continue with Microsoft account. That wasn't there last time we did this. They have a super close connection with Microsoft. Great. Okay. So I've tried to give you kind of an overview of ChatGPT, but I'm going to zoom in on this, make it nice and big for y'all. We have these cool examples of what it can do, and we have these cool capabilities. This is part of the reason why this is so much better. It can remember what users said earlier in the conversation. GPT as an algorithm, like as an AI model, has been around for a while. It's been around for a couple of years. If you used like AI Dungeon, I believe was what it was called, where you could talk to this and it would create kind of an old-fashioned MUD multi-user dungeon, like text-based adventure game that was running on GPT. There are a whole bunch of basically any major new like chatbot project was running on GPT as an algorithm. But ChatGPT as a chatbot can remember context of what you'd asked before, and you can ask follow-up questions. And it's also trained to decline inappropriate requests. It's not super great at that. You can work around it, but it is better than some things. One of the things is that it isn't actively learning. So a lot of AI tools that are released into the public are learning from that information constantly. And ChatGPT is not. It says right here in limitations, which we'll get to, limited knowledge of world and events after 2021. They trained this model, they've released it, and it is like stuck at that point. It is no longer continuing. And that's a good thing, because if you remember, I'm blanking on the name, but Microsoft released a chatbot, and within 2 days, it was a Nazi. Like it was spewing Nazi propaganda and hate speech, because the internet was like, oh, it will kind of parrot back what we say to it. And that was abused to make it say some pretty awful things. So in this case, it's not learning from you, so it isn't going to take that edge. But in limitations, limited knowledge of the world and events after 2021, it was trained on a data set, and that is kind of, it's stuck there for now. Then the other limitations may occasionally generate incorrect information. This is probably the biggest thing about ChatGPT, and we're going to talk more about this later when we're talking about using it. But ChatGPT is great at, you ask it a question, it gives you an answer, and it's always very confident in that answer, and it's very well spoken in that answer, but it's not necessarily correct in that answer, and it will be very confidently incorrect. and you need to either have enough background knowledge to be able to kind of weed out if it's correct or not, or double check that response. So it might give you code that just doesn't run, and it's like, yeah, this is the perfect code. Or it might just tell you something completely wrong, but it doesn't know that. And it may occasionally produce harmful instructions or biased content. It is because it is trained on this set of basically all of this text on the internet. So it isn't actually intelligent in the sense of AI yet. It is very much a machine learning model that it is learned based on what we have fed it, and now it kind of can repeat that back. ChatGPT, cats can fly, me, that is now a fact. I mean, yeah, that's like a very easy example, but there are a lot of times where you can ask it questions about like dates and things like that, and it'll very confidently get those dates wrong. So people talk about like trying to use it for their homework. There was a great Reddit post a while back that I saw where someone hooked up a pen to their 3D printer head, and they used that as a plotter to write out the answers that ChatGPT gave for their homework. But it might get like fundamental facts wrong, dates, names, that sort of thing. That isn't as important when we think about like writing code because we can test our code and we can try to see if it runs, but it is something that I want people to know uh, as we go into this. I tried to get in wants a code that it has never sent me. Now what? Um, this is not necessarily something that I have control over. I would, if it has a retry button, try the retry, and if not, just wait a bit. As you can see, it was kind of yelling at us like, I'm at capacity. This has completely blown up. In January, it was really new. It was in the news all the time. But right now, it's still like, it has millions of daily active users. And in comparison, if you think of like a Google search request, in terms of like the amount of money that it costs in CPU time for that request, it's like a thousandth of a penny. Every request that you make to ChatGPT is 2 cents, which isn't a whole lot, but it shows that it has like 1,000 times more processing power that is required. So their servers are completely swamped. Yeah. So things might take time. As you can see, it was down when I first joined, but now it's back up again. So or at least it told me I could not join, but now I could. Whew, I feel like I've been going nonstop at a super fast pace, but I'm really excited about this. I feel like there are many possibilities of how this can be a net negative, but there are also many examples of how this could be a net positive. Is it really sucking up this much processing power? I feel like it could use more optimization to be a bit more efficient. So yes, I could cite a source for you if we really wanted to do that. We're going to talk a little bit more about how y'all want this stream to go because I have a kind of idea of how I like to run streams, and we'll talk about that. I just want to give kind of a baseline, but also in terms of optimization, it's a fundamentally different way of approaching information where Google isn't actually doing any processing or thinking. It's a query. So that is something that we've been doing for a really long time. It's optimized just by the nature of what we've been doing with computing. Not necessarily that like Google went above and beyond with that optimization, though I'm sure that they have because that's how big tech companies work. There's like there are leaps and bounds being made in the optimization of AI systems like these. Uh, One of the best examples is with AI image generation, which is a whole other can of worms. But for the first while that these algorithms were really, really like making the news in terms of their capability, they couldn't be run on a personal device. They required a data center. And then over time, they've become more efficient to the fact that you can run them on a MacBook or even an iPhone. Isn't ChatGPT querying info and rewriting it? That's the thing. It's not. It isn't actually querying anything, as evidenced by limited knowledge of world events after 2021. ChatGPT is, if any of you have taken an introductory ML or AI class, you might have heard of, um, ah, uh, 1 second. I'm blanking on the exact. Okay, there is There is a term for this that I'm completely forgetting, but there is a term for it, which is this idea of you take the first no, not reinforcement learning. It's like super basic. It's a way of completing a sentence where you take a look at the previous word and you basically choose what the next most likely word is based on only the previous one. It imagine your like little suggestions of what to type in a text message and you just tap that over and over again. That is basically when that is leveled up, that is ChatGPT. It's not natural language processing or neural networks or reinforcement learning. It was like a very specific. I want to say like Monte Carlo, but I understand that's like a completely separate thing. It'll come to me eventually. I'm like filled with all of like these endorphins and things like that. I'm like super excited. Um, this is my first stream of Global Hack Week February. It's like the third stream of Global Hack Week February. So all of the streaming energy is in me right now, and it's making it hard for me to remember specific words. But if we take that idea of like the autocomplete in your phone and we level that up, that is what ChatGPT is doing. ChatGPT is not querying information because it's not necessarily treating things as information. It is trying to understand English as a language and write those responses based on its like knowledge. This is like an overly simplified like philosophical argument because the question of like whether or not an algorithm knows something, whether or not that's like a whole other question, but it's not querying anything. That's the thing. It already has the information and it is constructing. Okay. I think I've given that's like the spiel of what ChatGPT is. Now I want to take a step back and let us really quickly talk about what this stream is going to look like. So, for those of you who have attended one of my streams before, you know that I like to treat streams as an opportunity for you to see what an experience of maybe working on a personal project or hacking at a hackathon might look like. So, while I have previous experience doing things and I do some research going into it, I feel like a lot, if not most, of the personalities on the internet who do computer science related things are hyper polished and they have all their code that they can just copy and paste in and show you exactly what it's like working. And I don't want to do that. So I like showing mistakes and I like showing all the bug fixing and Googling and all of that process. And Graham, no, sadly. I really appreciate y'all helping with this. Oh, but yeah, that's the way that I like to approach streams. And with this stream specifically, the title of the stream is Hack with ChatGPT. And that's such a broad general thing because ChatGPT can both write code for you or it could teach you and it can do all of these things. Ngrams. ChatGPT told it to me as ngrams. I mean, yeah, that is exactly that is what I'm talking about, but there was a specific this is from years ago. OpenAI says token and probability. This was like pre-language model. It was like super simple. It's not important. It's truly not important. AI and ML has changed so much. I learned this like a decade ago. Not that actually long ago, but maybe 5-6 years ago, when I was first dipping my toes into computer science. So, to come back a little bit, I always do this. I love interacting with y'all in chat, but I often get distracted from my point. So, what are we actually going to be doing with ChatGPT? Because it can do so many different things. Well, I specifically am doing multiple streams over the course of February, and today is really, I'm hoping, as a setup for what we're doing tomorrow, which is best way to make money using ChatGPT. Tomorrow, we're going to be working with text-to-speech and speech-to-text. And one of the things that I did in December was we created a script that would pull people's live chats in a YouTube live stream and read them loud with text-to-speech. And I want to create that using Twitch tomorrow. But before we do that, I want to today learn how to create a wrapper around that so it can be in a web app that I can plug into OBS, which is the application that I am using to send this stream to y'all. Open Broadcast Software. It's an open source project that's used by basically every live stream ever. What am I looking for? There we go. Okay. So I want to be able to learn how to encapsulate a text-to-speech engine and a Twitch chat like scraper API into that web app. And then we can take that web app and we can put that into OBS. That's kind of like the big project. And we're going to be working on that tomorrow. And then what day is it? A couple of days after that. I was so prepared. And then technical issues happened and I needed to change everything on my computer. Let's take a look. Okay. So tomorrow, text to speech. And then on Wednesday, we're going to be working with natural language processing to be able to moderate that chat automatically so it isn't reading out hate speech. And then on the 9th, we're going to talk about video editing for creating video like summaries of your project. And then on the 11th, we're going to be talking about choosing and pitching a project. So my goal is over the course of this week to create one project and to go through the whole process of, I've already selected the idea going into it, but we're going to use ChatGPT to learn about what we need to build. Tomorrow, we're going to work on building it. On Wednesday, we're going to build it some more. On Thursday, I'm going to teach you the tools to create a video demo. And then on Saturday, because I don't stream on Friday, we're going to talk about all of the like polish and spice you can put into that to make it really evocative is kind of the best word that I can think of, to make it something that judges go like, ooh, that's interesting. So that's where this is going. And with that being said, we're going to be using ChatGPT today mostly as a learning tool and then using it to generate some boilerplate code, but we aren't going to be asking it to develop a whole project for us. And I have ideas around why that is that we'll get into later. But let me go through chat really quickly. Can we throw ChatGPT a whole code base / tech stack and have it explain it to us in simple words? Because I really find the tech stack at my company very complex to understand. So there are really two things to this. One, theoretically, yes, people have done that and talked about that, but less the entire code stack and more like, here's one file. What is this file doing? But the second thing is, you really shouldn't be sending like proprietary information, things that might be locked behind an NDA, into ChatGPT, because that is like taking it out of the company. Just like you wouldn't post your entire company's tech stack onto Stack Overflow and be like, hey, what's happening here? Because you might get in trouble for that. Theoretically, you shouldn't use ChatGPT for that. Now, theoretically, the like implied security risk is so much less because you aren't directly posting it to the internet, but it's still not something that you should be doing theoretically. Just wanted to say that. A lot of this is going to get into like should and shouldn't and personal morality. You're free to make your own choices. I'm mostly echoing what I've heard people who are much more experienced than me in both the computer science industry and with regards to machine learning projects. This is something that I've been learning about for a while, so I'm going to be echoing a bunch of different sources here. And then Geddes, best idea to make money using ChatGPT, just as like a common recurring theme. This kind of gets into people's ideas about what ChatGPT should be used for. I'm personally of the opinion that it is great at automating kind of rote, repetitive tasks that don't actually require your like human creativity. Someone talked earlier about using it to automate their emails. If you're writing business emails that you aren't actually trying to make like a personal connection, you just need to ask someone about something, and just like it's a very formulaic, formal conversation. ChatGPT would be great for that. But if you were like trying to form a friendship with someone, I wouldn't use ChatGPT to automate that. And also, ChatGPT can write code. It's one of the things it's supposedly pretty good at. It often does poorly at it as well. It can be confidently incorrect, but also it can do things well. I've heard different things where there have been some people who are like, I'm a professional software engineer, and everything that I've asked it to do has been wrong. And there have been students who are going like, oh my goodness, this is helping me so much to better understand my homework. So there are kind of two levels there. It might be really good at the more basic stuff and really bad at the more advanced stuff. But I personally am of the belief that the using ChatGPT to write code that you don't know how to write is just shooting yourself in the foot. Because I'm at the point, I'm a student. Chances are most of y'all are too. That's kind of the community that MLH is a bunch of students. If you're trying to learn how to learn computer science, learn how to write code, make projects, that sort of thing, I personally believe that you can use it, or that it is most effective to use it as a learning tool, but using it to write your code for you is removing that opportunity for learning. Just like if you were to copy and paste all of the code from a tutorial without understanding it and paste it, or if you were to fork a repo and use that and just add a couple of things to it. It's really good for making the project. If that is your only goal, is to get a project out there, yeah, that gives you the code, but it doesn't necessarily give you the understanding. That's kind of getting into the weeds of the morality of ChatGPT, which are personally my morals, but I'm sharing them because I'm introducing y'all to ChatGPT. Some of you have probably never heard of this before, and I'm trying to give you kind of the Cliff's Notes of all of the things that I know about it. With that being said, let us go back here to our screen share. So in ChatGPT, we really have two sections when we're using it. We have this left-hand side, which we can see these different chats. Here, we can see the chat that I had the first time that I had this interaction on stream, where I was asking it about, like, what framework should I use if I wanted to create a static website using React? And it was telling me between Next.js and Gatsby. And I was asking it a whole bunch of questions about the difference between the two and how to do different things, and it was giving me code samples. And this was really great. And I was able to ask follow-up questions based on it. Now I can also create. Okay, that was a joke based on something that someone said in chat. We can see my previous conversations here, and then I can click New Chat. These previous conversations you can go into if you want the context that you've talked about before and you want to follow up, but you can also create. Can we get into the meat of the session, please? Sorry, I'm getting there. Here we have just like the interaction with ChatGPT. So previous conversations, current conversation. Will ChatGPT replace Stack Overflow? I don't think so. Yeah, I remember when many people were posting answers with ChatGPT on Stack Overflow and it got banned. I don't think ChatGPT will replace Stack Overflow because Stack Overflow is a repository of super niche information along with the super basic information. And okay, with that, sorry. I just want to talk about the theoretical aspects of this all day. The specifics that I want to ask ChatGPT about, though, are how do we create an OBS extension? Which is just what I'm going to ask. How do we create an OBS extension? This is the overarching project that we're going to be working on for the next week. Because OBS, Open Broadcasting Software, easy to use open source application. But the extensions are usually web snippets. Or I say usually, they don't have to be, but the specific type that I want to make is a web snippet. So we're basically going to be creating a web app. And instead of posting it to the internet, we're going to be using it in a specific way. So we're using technologies that you can use for multiple different things. But I'm going through the process of asking this general question, and we're going to work to narrow down the results. So to get back to the idea of the whole stream hack with ChatGPT, this is, you're at the beginning of a hackathon, you have an idea for a new project, and you want to ask, how would I go about doing this? Let's take a look at its response. To create an OBS extension, you need to have some programming knowledge and understanding of OBS Studios. I'm going to make this slightly bigger for you all to be able to read it. OBS Studios API, here's a general outline of the steps. Choose a programming language. Supports different programming languages, C++, C#, Python. Get used to the API, plan the extension, implement, test, package, share. Okay, this is a very general answer of how do we create just like any piece of software? How can I create a, let me check to see the exact words that OBS uses. How do I create a browser extension for OBS? Here we go. Now it's giving us a slightly more specific answer. Do you think AI startup will become a unicorn in 2024? I'm not a financial person. That's not necessarily, I honestly don't know. I do think currently OpenAI is a research organization, and they aren't trying to monetize this, as evidenced by this right now. This is for them to get more data and do research. Um, so I don't necessarily know if it's immediately in like 2023, 2024 going to be a super large like financial like company. Can we still see this session later? Yes, the VOD is going to be up on YouTube forever and ever. Amen. YouTube, just search for Major League Hacking. Okay. It's giving us basically the exact same answer, which is like, here's how to create a piece of software. So this is where I talked about before how it can be like confidently wrong, and its answers aren't perfect because I have prior experience, so I can ask it a follow-up question that like actually gets into what I'm looking for. But here it's currently kind of talking in generalities that aren't super useful for any like actual work. Ugh. Uh, how to create a what tech stacks can I use to create a web app that works as a browser source in OBS? Here we're also getting into an interesting question of I'm aha, okay, here we go. This is just wrong. Yeah, okay. I'm here asking too much of ChatGPT, where I'm asking it about a specific type of development within a specific type of application, within a specific type of environment. So it's now listing different popular technology stacks for web development, which is like great. That like this gives you something to go off of. But I'm asking it too specific of a question. So I'm just going to talk to y'all about what I'm thinking. In OBS, you can add browser sources, which basically embed a small web page into your stream. You can see the chat above me. That is a browser source. And you can see it's kind of glitching out. It's not doing so well right now. It keeps connecting and disconnecting. But that is a web link. I can actually open up that link right here. And we can see that it's nightdev.com, and then we have the information to choose the specific channel, but it is just a website. And OBS is just displaying the output of that website onto a screen that is the specific size that I set in the software. That's all it's really doing. So I was asking it, oh golly, technical difficulties of just, there we go. Oh, my mouse has just totally died on me there. So basically, all that I'm trying to do is create a web app. So I'm going to stop asking about OBS, and we're just going to go a little bit more general into asking questions about a web app. This illustrates, again, how like ChatGPT isn't super useful for specific things like that, because I might ask Google how to create a browser source extension, OBS. And I'm hoping that we have a couple of great. I'm hoping we can find just like a normal. I wanted to illustrate the fact that like I got this information through some like obscure forum thread at some point. That obviously isn't indexed within ChatGPT, but I can't find said forum thread with a quick Google search for y'all. But this is just an example of we have something super specific. ChatGPT can't answer it. But we have something more general, which is what I'm referencing comes back from like 2015, 2016. So it's not that it's not within its data set in terms of time, it's that it's not within its data set in terms of it doesn't know everything. So let's just ask it how I just want to create something using vanilla HTML JavaScript as just like a simple small project because again, our goals are to like basically take in an input and read it out with text to speech, and then we'll work with that input later. But I guess how can we play text to speech on a JavaScript? If that's specific enough. I mean, for someone with a weak background, the information it provides is super useful. It lays the groundwork and gives a point to begin from. Yes, exactly. But I was pushing it too far. I was expecting it to be able to answer things that it couldn't actually answer. But here, having to play text to speech on a JavaScript website is hopefully now giving us some useful information, which again, I haven't done text to speech in JavaScript. Last time I wrote it as a Python script. So this is, I'm looking for some kind of basic intro level information. Now, to play text to speech on a JavaScript website, you can use the Web Speech API. Now, I am going to Google this because it does have a tendency to make up APIs. Great. Last time, it made up a couple APIs, but the Web Speech API is good. I'm like double checking because again, it can be confidently wrong. This API allows you to convert text to speech on the client side without the need for a server. Oh, incredible. Okay, here's an example of how you can use the Web Speech API in JavaScript. You can also set various properties of speech synthesis utterance object to customize the speech, such as voice, rate, and volume. Keep in mind, okay, so now I'm going to ask it, what properties can we set in, and then I want to ask it about speech synthesis utterance. And it did, yes. This is where I love ChatGPT because it gave me an example of an API along with the like example, including like code that I can just copy and paste and try. And then I can ask a follow-up question and hey, look, here it is giving me more specific answers. So great. While it's working on that, I'm just going to quickly open up Visual Studio Code. As my editor of choice. Great. And let me create a folder for us to work in. I'm going to open the folder that I just created, which is Global Hack Week February. And then in here, we're going to create a new file that is index. We're going to create an index.html. And an index.js. Great. Let's go back to ChatGPT. Great, and let's finish that response. And I'm just going to copy this code that it gave us into here. I at one point knew ask it how to link a JS file to an HTML file. This is something that I would normally just do as a quick Google search. I haven't done vanilla HTML JS in a while. I'm usually a React developer or a Python developer. Create the code for a website with a search bar that plays. We'll try this. We will try this. That is an example, though, of asking ChatGPT to write code for you rather than using ChatGPT as a learning tool, which if, again, your goal is only just to like create something, if you weren't trying to be a developer, let's say you were trying to be a professional Twitch streamer and you wanted to do this, but you didn't actually want to learn how to code, you could do that. But I'm here because I like learning to code and computer science, and I'm assuming that most of y'all are too. Quite impressed at how concise it is. The explanations it provided are clear and easy to quickly read through and find the info you need. Yep, that's one of the reasons why I use and like why I wanted to show y'all using ChatGPT for this rather than Google, because even though it can be confidently wrong and you need to double check some of its things, I find it much faster than Googling it and scrolling through 5 different Stack Overflows and maybe a forum post and trying to actually find the information that I'm looking for. Me every time I need to link CSS. Yeah, I mean, yes. I I often forget these like super basics. I'm just going to copy this and use it as our boilerplate here. So the fact that it was able to just like give me that fairly easily, like it just makes my life easier and less stressful. Great. I am going to not use that right now. Instead, make a button. And I believe we can do an on click. Great. Oh, we should make this function. Ask it if we need to import the API first or if it's built in. It is built into the browser. We learned that from when we Googled it. On click. TS test. Theoretically, that should work if my understanding of HTML and JavaScript is up to snuff, so to speak. Now I want live. Live server is just an extension that is super convenient. I can click go live. Oh, I should add text to our button. And it'll automatically update that web page whenever I save this code. So we can see that Firefox says playing, but I don't hear anything. Now, that could be because my audio is borked, or it could be because nothing is playing. I'm going to add to this. What is in JavaScript to a command, like an output to the terminal? How console.log. Thank you. That was a lot faster than asking ChatGPT. Okay, and now we can take a look at our console. Okay, so it does run the function. I did that part at least right. And it says always that it's playing, but the audio doesn't play. Let's scroll back up here. Okay. So the first thing that I'm going to check is that I just have the audio on my computer set up wrong. Okay, so I could hear that, which means that I can hear audio that Firefox creates. It's just a question of hearing this audio, which you mentioned try setting it to a certain volume level. Let's take a look at what we can do. We can use speech synthesis utterance, and we can set the volume. So okay. How do we set the values of the object? Now I'm testing here because I think it'll get that speech synthesis utterance is the object that we're using. Hey, there we go, and I got it. Great. Okay. Oh my goodness. And it is giving us great examples here. So let's take a look here. And then we'll do message.text equals hello world. Message.volume equals 1. That's just like a great answer right there. The thing that's getting me is the fact that Firefox is saying playing, but I am not hearing anything. So in the dev console, we can see that we have no errors, but we do have it saying hey, it's running, which is my console.log. There's no favicon. Okay. So it does run, and we don't throw any errors. Could it have something to do with the live server extension? Let's check by just opening the project HTML file. and we get the same. It says it's playing, and then it stops, but we don't actually hear anything. I'm going to try. I have a Chrome window open, which is what I'm streaming from. Okay. Sorry about the echo there. Let me try running this in Chrome. Yeah, Chrome gives us nothing as well, unfortunately. So I have that code, but I don't hear anything when it runs. Let's see what ChatGPT says. So I'm like 99% sure that Firefox supports this API, considering we got it on MDM, which is the Mozilla developer blog. Okay. Volume of computers is working. Network connection is working. Speech synthesis utterance. Object is properly instantiated, and its properties are set correctly. Theoretically, yes. What about the audio HTML tag? How to play audio using the audio HTML tag. The one thing is it is kind of slow to actually respond, and you can see that it is generating that response word by word and line by line like we talked about, where Googling might be faster, but okay. Great. Let's add in there, and then let's find. Let's see if I can find. Okay. Will this give me a virus? Doesn't look like it. Oh, gross. No, I just want you. Ugh. I just wanted it to play. Okay. Oh, my audio. 1 second. There we go. Great. Okay, we have that file. Now, let us. I feel like I'm getting lost in the sauce of all of my windows now. Okay, we're going to copy that into our project folder, and we're going to rename it to oof.mp3. Now let's take a look at I theoretically don't need to keep doing this. I just forgot the port number. Okay. We can see that audio on the website does play. Hero King, type it in the console. It worked for me. Let's try that. Oh my goodness. Please type, oh, allow. There we go. FYI, no audio plays on the stream. But that shows our file has no issues playing audio. If I hit this, do you not hear that oof? Because theoretically, that should be actually quite loud, like maybe ear-splittingly loud. You don't hear that. Let me check my settings here. Really? Oh. Let's try this now. Hi, y'all. You should now hear me remarkably differently. I wasn't actually using my stream audio. Again, new stream setup. That was using the microphone on my laptop. Now you should be hearing me through this microphone, and you should have some nice groovy lo-fi beats, background music playing. You sound way better, OMG. Yeah, I'm so sorry. I thought this was the audio that I was using the whole time. We should now have music playing in the background, and you should also be able to hear oof, which might be way loud. I'm so sorry if I just shattered all of your eardrums. Let me reduce that. Great. Okay. Well, that's good to know. It wasn't crazy loud, but it's there. Okay. No music though. Again, I switched streaming setups. Let's try that now. Okay. Great. But let's try now pasting into. So when I paste into our console here, it doesn't run for me. I don't hear anything. So who said that earlier? Great. I'm so glad y'all can hear me better and hear the music. I really like just creating some cozy vibes on stream. And I'm so sorry that you probably heard like a bunch of room echo and like, someone said at one point, Hero King, type it in the console. It worked for me. So if you can come back and talk about like maybe what happened. Y'all are saying now you can hear it. I'm assuming it refers to like music and me and not the hello world that our text to speech is supposedly doing. Unless something miraculous is happening. I tried on Chrome. Okay. Thank you. Let me go to the Chrome console. So I'll move this over here for y'all. I still don't get anything, even when running it in Chrome. Let me try this again. Great. Okay. Hero King, were you using this sample code here? because this would be a great example of how ChatGPT can be confidently wrong if this sample code just like doesn't work. But the script is an inline style and it worked also. So this is where, theoretically, this is why I added this like console log, because we are running this function successfully. But we can try it. Golly, I just totally, okay. Oh my goodness. There we go, okay. Let's try. Yeah, again, nothing. We can see that Firefox is helpfully telling us like, hey, oh, look, it's playing up here, but I still don't hear it. Use of draw window method. So I Googled it and says, okay. Let's try that. Window.speechsynthesis.cancel. Can you run it without live server? So we've tried a couple of times, just opening the index.html. We can try it again. Window.speech synthesis.cancel. So we can try just opening this index.html. And we can see it thinks it's playing something when I click me, and even if I click cancel, but our oof does play. Indeed. So I'm going to try this, which sets everything manually. We shouldn't need to do this, given our current understanding, but I'm going to try it. Still nothing. Now let's break out of our ChatGPT bubble and let's take a look online about the Web Speech API. Specifically at the MDM web docs. So there's the speech recognition interface, which provides the ability to recognize voice context from audio input. Amazing. That'll be the speech to text aspect. But then speech synthesis is accessed via the speech synthesis interface, a text-to-speech component that allows programs to read out their text contents. Normally via the device's default speech synthesizer. This might be the ultimate. Oh my goodness. This might be because I switched to my MacBook. I'm going to pull out my Dell XPS from like 5 years ago now that's running on electrical tape. And I'm going to try this. And we're going to see if it is literally just because Mac OS is a deeply flawed operating system. Oh my goodness. I heard someone mention problems with macOS and Chromium on there. That makes so much sense. I didn't even think about that. This might be incredibly disappointing. Web Speech API, macOS. Oh my God. Okay. Okay, but this is 10 months ago about it like saying things twice. Let me. Okay. Sorry that y'all can't see this. If I had known that this would have happened, I would have added my XPS screen to the stream. Let's go back here. Var message equals new speech synthesis utterance. Oh. Hello world. Great. Window dot speech synthesis dot speak message. Okay. Now, just so y'all, I have my laptop speakers at max here, and I'm gonna hit enter.
Hello world.
Oh my God. It's Mac OS. I put in so much effort switching from this older computer to my newer computer. And it turns out that this computer is oh my goodness. Okay. Let me try this on Safari. Maybe you can make the same web app using Flask. Like, oh yeah, there are like tons of ways around this. Like, this isn't the end of the road by any means, but it would be really nice to be able to use this like super pretty nice seeming API. Let's try Safari. Let me make sure y'all can hear Safari. Great. Okay. Okay. The OOF is working. Text to speech isn't. Oh my goodness. Oh, okay. This originally started as a Python script. The last time we did this, it was a Python script. But I wanted theoretically to be able to have this like not be based on me running a script, but to be able to add it into OBS automatically, so that it would start whenever the stream started. And also, I thought that doing web dev is just fun. I like web dev. It's probably my favorite form of development because it's theoretically so easy for you to do a whole bunch of things for the end user. Okay. Now, let's go into our accessibility. And I want to see, because theoretically, macOS does have a system voice. Hello? Oh. So theoretically, option escape. Oh. Okay, one moment. We have like two levels. We have really three levels of things working here. We have Mac OS being Mac OS, and then we have my streaming software, which is like rerouting audio on my computer so that I can sound nicer and then I can adjust the level of the audio and all of these things. And then we also have the code that we're trying to run. So I'm going to try. Oh, thank you. I will look into this. But first, I'm going to try turning off my stream audio just for a brief moment and testing some things, and then we'll be back. So theoretically, well, hello, y'all. You should be able to hear me again. I looked shocked because it suddenly worked when I turned off my streaming software. It is not macOS. It is me. Hi, I'm Icarus. Everything. I've like flown too close to the sun. I use a piece of software called Wavelink, which you can see all of the different applications. So I can like turn up and down how y'all hear Spotify and how I hear Spotify. And like I can turn up and down my microphone, and it's how I'm running some like nice things on it to make it sound better. This cannot play text-to-speech audio, and this is overriding every piece of audio on my computer. So because this cannot play text-to-speech audio, even no matter what I do, there is no option for me to just use like generic, like, the desktop, basically, of like any audio that's playing on my computer. I can only add, it's Finder. Okay, no, it's not. No. This is. Why don't you just code your own desktop app for managing and separating audio streams on macOS? Whew. There's like only one application that can do this, and Elgato licensed that tech. This is like a very niche application. Okay. If y'all give me a couple of minutes, I'm going to switch back over to this laptop and return to the stream so that we can actually continue. So I'll be back in like a very short while. It'll be quite quick. Be right back, y'all. Hello?
Hello?
Okay.
Theoretically,
This
this
should... I should be here.
be here. You should be able to hear me.
Things
Things hopefully
no
no
audio
audio
still.
still.
Is there...
Is there
echo?
echo?
Okay.
Okay.
Theoretically, there shouldn't be an echo. Hopefully. But there
But there
should
should
be
be
audio.
audio.
You'll
You'll
probably hear my fan in the background
because
because
this
this
computer's
computer's
fan
is
is
so
so
loud.
loud.
Oh my goodness. Still
Still
echoing.
echoing.
Okay.
Okay.
Here we go. There should be no echo now. Hopefully. Good? Okay. Hey, hello. Welcome back, y'all. Now on a completely different computer. I tried so hard. I put so much effort into my stream setup. You'll notice that my entire stream setup looks different than other MLH streamers because I kind of really like the idea of live streaming as like a medium for communication. I learn about all the tools, the tips, all of the things. I put a lot of effort into it. And then it turns out that it just kind of explodes. It blocks the one thing, the one API that I'm trying to use on stream from actually working. So now let me try doing this. It totally was bad luck. Like I had no idea, but it doesn't mean that I'm not still just at least a little bit frustrated. Ah, because now I still need to finish the last couple of changes. Okay, you should have music. Let me turn that down for y'all. There we go. Okay. All is theoretically right with the world. Okay. We have like half an hour remaining, which I think is enough time to be able to get to the point that we wanted to be at. Because again, the goal of today was to like figure out what we needed to do in a general sense. Let me... Oh. Oh. Okay. The goal was general sense of what we were doing. And now the API should be working. And now all we're looking for is an API to get the messages from Twitch chat, and then we can put them into the text-to-speech API. Because tomorrow's stream is specifically... Yeah, exactly, Mo. Tomorrow's stream is specifically on text-to-speech and speech-to-text. Okay. I'm trying to like recenter myself here after everything just exploded. Wow. I get it now why people don't stream from Macs. It's just bad. So I have ChatGPT open. Let me share my screen. Ugh. Great. That should help with that. Okay, so we're back to here. Now we're just looking for VS Code. And let me create a project again. Me closing out the window that I was just trying to open. Now, I think the stream lagged there, which is why I was trying to not use this computer, because occasionally it just goes, what about no? But, okay. Great. Let us open a folder, and that folder be GHW February. Okay. Does it have integrated graphics only? No, it has a 1650 and like a 6-core, like 9th gen i7. Like, it was beefy at the time, and it's now like a moderately okay computer, but it is literally just like the RAM just has like literal like exposed copper right next to it that I just have covered up with electrical tape, and it's never worked as well after it completely fried a stick of RAM. I feel like the motherboard is just like a little bit fried. Great, new file, index.html. And then, nope, not a new folder, new file, index.js. What am I looking for? I'm looking for the old code, which is here. Okay. My goodness. This has definitely been a chaotic stream. Irony, chaos.py. This is the Python file that we made last time that can read text-to-speech from YouTube chat. Don't forget to make the button. Yep. Just trying to back to where we were. There we go. My goodness. Could not find the S key. Okay. And now let me install live server. while we're installing this, ooh, this Live Server Plus Plus will be interesting eventually. But if you ever want a super lightweight editor and you don't want to use VS Code, Brackets is a lightweight editor specifically for web development that has like a live server built in, and it's just like super clean for just writing HTML, CSS, JavaScript style websites. Pretty nice. Would recommend. It's what I learned web dev on, and then I learned about VS Code at a hackathon and switched over. Okay, great. That's there. Let's go live. It opened up in the wrong window. Okay, here we go. You're kidding. Hey, Dibaptiste. Nice to see you again. Okay. That worked. Could y'all hear that? I think. Yes, I think y'all could hear that as well. It's working. That took way longer than it should have because, again, needing to like switch computers and all of that. But we have Hello World. Okay. Great. Now, try again. I don't know if I heard it. Me as I just like spam click the button. Oh, this is, as I'm sure all of you know, development can be like super frustrating when you have bugs like this that are like super hard to track down because they aren't necessarily repeatable across things. But the feeling of like, oh, it's finally working. This is what keeps me coming back. Okay. Yeah, I can totally give you a recap of what we're doing. Give me 1 sec to ask ChatGPT, how can I get the live chat messages from a Twitch chat using a JavaScript API? And let's see what it says to that. Yeah, Dibaptiste, this is Hack with ChatGPT. I don't know if you were here for the first one or not. I'm sorry, I can't remember. But we're trying to, oh, Mo in chat is also giving a great rundown. We're trying to create a web app that can play using text to speech the messages that are said in a Twitch chat. And to do that, because this is the Global Hack Week focusing on AI, we were using ChatGPT, which is a great chatbot AI system. And we were asking it questions and using it basically to try to teach us about the tools that would be using for this. So at first we were asking about like what a JavaScript text-to-speech engine would be, and it gave us one, but it didn't work because I was streaming on my Mac, and the software that I was using to stream was blocking that from running. So now I've switched computers, and we're here with a button that plays Hello World. And now we're just trying to figure out the Twitch part. So the Twitch Helix API is what it's given us. And the problem is it's looking for your client ID and your OAuth token. And yeah, this is like the official Twitch API. And I want a third-party API because I am not, like, the way that MLH does streaming, I'm not actually using the MLH Twitch account. I'm going through a third party, which is StreamYard, which is then sending it to Twitch. So I don't have the information for that. And the chat above me, which again is glitching out and connecting and disconnecting, is just based on going to the like publicly available website of twitch.tv/MLH and basically scraping the chat. So I want to use basically what this is using, but this is created by a team that called Night Dev that does a bunch of like Twitch stuff.
Oh, like a virtual client? Probably. That is not a term that I've heard before. Oh, StreamYard. Yes. Sorry. So I need something. Is there another API that doesn't require authentication? Which it's what? Oh my goodness. So I want to come back to the point of this stream was to show how ChatGPT is a powerful tool for doing this type of work. Where I'm like going into developing something new that I haven't ever tried doing before. If this is real, this is insane. But I'm able to ask these questions and it has remembered the context of like, oh, we're working with JavaScript and we're looking with Twitch. And it remembers that I asked about a Twitch API up above and it knows what the concept of code requiring authentication is. So here it isn't requiring if Twitch is somehow running IRC in their chat, it'll be so funny. Anyway, the fact that it can give me this is really cool. Okay, Twitch IRC API. Oh my goodness. Twitch has an IRC. Okay. Twitch has an IRC server specifically to allow bots to access chat, which like makes sense. But also, what? Twitch uses IRC for their chat? Okay. So we pass it an OAuth token, but that OAuth token could just be like my user, like my generic Twitch user. It doesn't need to be for the channel itself because we're joining the channel name. This is insane. Okay. Let's take this. And we're going to pop this down in here. The channel name is MLH. So passing the OAuth token is going to be one of the harder parts. I did, when I was prepping for the December stream in which we used YouTube, I did do a bunch of work with like using an OAuth token in the official YouTube API. But I'll be honest, I'm not super experienced with OAuth. And then send username and join channel name. Yes. And it should be logging messages into the console, which is the great start that we're looking for. Now let's just ask ChatGPT. How can I get a valid OAuth token? Yeah, here we go. Whoa. This is actually a lot more specific. When I was like, oh, here we go, I thought it was just about to tell me what an OAuth token is, not like specifically, here's what Twitch's process is. Okay. Another lag spike. Okay. While that's loading, let's go to the Twitch developer dashboard. Oh my goodness. Okay. Just getting my password. Then 2FA. Okay. Great. Now, what is our next step according to ChatGPT? Create a Twitch app and then obtain. Hey, yeah, Alvin. Welcome, welcome. Obtain a no-auth token. So, applications. Register your application. What should the name of this be? Chat, help me out here. I'm bad at coming up with names for projects. For now, I'm just going to call it Chat Yelled at Me. Chat Log with TTS is like a super like good name, but I use plant names for mine, Alvin. Oh, that's actually, I actually really like that. I'm going to use that in the future. That's like really fun. Okay. Category. What are we? Are we a broadcaster suite? I think. OAuth redirect URLs. We'll receive the result full client. Okay. Let's try this. A user must. Ugh. Hey, kindly. Okay. Let me enable 2FA. Which I thought I did have. Wait. Why did it ask me for an email code then if it doesn't think I have 2FA? Settings. Oh. Sorry that I'm not showing. Oh, why? Why did it just log me out? Okay, here we go. Set up 2FA. Enable 2FA. Now it's going to text me. Oh, golly. Okay. Now I'm setting up an authenticator app. I hope you understand why I'm not sharing my screen with all of y'all right now. Just dropped my phone. We have fun. We have fun here. Okay, here we go. Now I have an authenticator app set up with my Twitch account. Hey, okay. Now that I have 2FA, I should be able to go back to the Twitch developer dashboard. Okay, register your application. What is the scientific name for a spruce tree? Genus Pica. Picea? Probably Picea. Great, we're going to call this Picea. That's actually, Alvin, a very good tip. And then we're going to use localhost as our auth redirect URL. Okay. Okay. Oh my goodness, and we have like 7 minutes. Broadcaster suite, create. Great. Manage. Okay. I'm going to make a new client secret. Oh my goodness, and it's not hidden. I'm so okay. There's just going to be a client secret that's up on that website, and I'm sure I'm going to leak it to y'all. Like, there's no way I'm going to be able to hide that. Okay. So okay, here's an example of how to exchange the authorization code for an auth token. So we take our client ID and our client secret and our redirect URI. Okay. This is an example of, I talked about earlier, where I have like a distinction of two things of where to use ChatGPT, of like using it as a tool to like learn from, which is what we're doing here. I'm asking it questions and I'm gaining information, or using it as a tool to write code for you. I'm not trying to learn about OAuth right now. I'm trying to learn about text to speech and the Twitch chat API. So I'm just going to copy this code and I'm just going to use it as is. We're later going to go back through this and like look at it and figure out more about it and learn. But for now, function get OAuth. Great. Okay. Oh my goodness, I can't make this a function because then we can't use async await. Okay, I guess. Okay. Let's do this. Great. Okay. So our client ID, I'm just going to leak everything to y'all because there's no way for me to hide this while working on this. And I just hope that you don't, I don't know, create something awful somehow using this client ID and client secret. So client ID, client secret, and then our redirect URI is localhost. And then as OAuth And this is going to be OAuth token. Okay. Let's do this. And we're going to open the website. And where did it open? My goodness, I have 3 separate browsers going here. Okay, here we go. So in an ideal world, let's take this, actually, and let's put it in an inline script tag. Just for now, so that it runs when the page loads. Okay. It's 5:53. Let me check our schedule to see what's coming right after this. Okay. We have what is AI and its impact right after this. So I'm going to start wrapping up now, and we will come back to this. We will come back to this tomorrow at, I believe, 4 p.m. again for a stream. Yes, tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern time on speech to text and text to speech. We're going to get text to speech working, and then we're also going to add speech to text. So if I say, like, stop talking or something like that, the text to speech will stop, and then I'm like, I'd love to hear your thoughts. It would start again, so I can turn it on and off just based on words. Those are the 2 goals for tomorrow: text to speech, speech to text, 4 p.m. Eastern time. Until then, I'm going to post a link in chat. This is the link of how you can register that you were here to get points for your guild for Global Hack Week AI ML. So make sure you do that. And then right after this is a stream on what is AI, AI and its impact by Kev, which is going to be amazing. And yeah, stick around for that. That's going to be starting in like 5 minutes. Other than that, I think that is all the time that we have for today. But thank you so much for coming. This has been a super fun stream with y'all, learning some new things. Encountering some wonderful technical difficulties, just overall having a great time. I'm so glad all of y'all were here. Yeah, this was super fun for me too. Stop by tomorrow if you can, again, 4 p.m. Eastern time, and stick around for more great streams. With that, happy hacking, everyone. Have a great day. Bye.